We take a scriptural Torah from the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 1 to the end. Please, as you hear his name, you worship. For any time the great name of YHWH is called, one has to worship. The scripture, verse 1, if then you were raised with Messiah, YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC, who is Ayurin, YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC, the son of Hanan, seek the matters which are above, where YEHUDAH is seated at the right hand of Hanan, her Elohim. Verse 2, mind the matters above, not those on the earth. Verse 3, for you have died, and your life has been hidden with YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC in her work, Elohim. Verse 4, when YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC, who is her work, a breath, is manifested, then you also shall be manifested with him in esteem. Therefore put to death your members which are on the earth, whoring, uncleanness, passion, evil desire, and greed of gain, which is idolatry. Verse 6, because of this the wrath of YEHUDAH Elohim is coming upon the sons of disobedience. Verse 7, in which you also once walked when you lived in them. Verse 8, but now also put off all this: displeasure, wrath, evil blasphemy, filthy talk from your mouth. Verse 9, do not lie to each other, since you have put off the old man in his practices. Verse 9 again, do not lie to each other, since you have put off the old man with his practices. Verse 10, and have put on the new one, who is renewed in knowledge according to the likeness of him who created him. Verse 11, where there is not Greek and Yehudi, circumcised and uncircumcised, foreigner, Scythian, slave, free, but YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC is all and in all. Verse 12, therefore, as chosen ones of her Elohim, set apart and beloved, put on compassion, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, patience. Verse 13, bearing with one another and forgiving each other if anyone has a complaint against another. Indeed, as YHWH son, YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC, forgive you, so also should you. Verse 14, but above all this put on love, which is a bond of the perfection. Verse 15, and let the peace of YEHUDAH Elohim rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be filled with thanks. Verse 16, let the Torah, the word of YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC, via YHWH, dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing with pleasure in your hearts to YEHUDAH, in bracket YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC, the son of Hanan, of bracket, in the Tehillim and songs of praise and spiritual songs. Verse 17, and whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Master Adonai, Yuin, via Adonai, giving thanks to Elohim, Eloah, Abba, through him. Verse 17 again, and whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Master HaAdonai. We'isayuin via HaAdonai, giving thanks to HaElohim, HaEloah, HaAbba, through him. Verse 18, wives, subject yourselves to your own husbands as is proper in the Master, YEHUDAH HAMASCHIAC. Verse 19, husbands, love your wives and do not be bitter towards them. Verse 20, children, obey your parents in all, for this is well pleasing to YEHUDAH. Verse 21, fathers, do not provoke your children lest they become discouraged. Verse 22, servants, obey your masters according to the flesh in all respects, not with eye service, as men pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, fearing Elohim. Verse 23, and whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Master, your HAMASCHIAC, and not to men. Verse 24. Verse 23 again, and whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Master, your HAMASCHIAC, and not to men. Verse 24, knowing that from the Master, your YESHUA HAMASCHIAC, you shall receive the reward of the inheritance. It is the Master, your YESHUA HAMASCHIAC, you serve. Verse 25, but he who does wrong shall be repaid for the wrong which he has done. There is no partiality. Verse 25 again, but he who does wrong shall be repaid for the wrong which he has done, and there is no partiality. The end. Your HAMASCHIAC, YEHUDAH Messianic Holy Scripture Bible Torah, Bible version, all copyright reserved, 2023.